Welcome to Talk of the Town. Thanks for joining me. I'm Jessa Jeremiah, and we have such a fabulous show for you today. We are going to start with learning a thing or two about social media, and I'm joined now by our news partner from WBIC, and if you're not familiar, I'll give you the full name. It's a long one. It's Wisconsin Women's Business Initiative Corporation. And we're allowed to call it WBIC for short, right?
Definitely.
This is Andrea Hughes, who's the Regional Project Director, and we're also joined today by Spencer Smith from SpencerXSmith.com. And I'm so pleased to have you both today. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's start a little bit about sharing with viewers at home, in case they missed it, a little bit about WBIC. Now, you see a lot of successful and unsuccessful businesses, I'm sure, as you are helping people throughout the community. What, in your opinion, Andrea, is the key element to success, just to start us off?
Well, it's hard to narrow it down to one, but when we see different entrepreneurs come in to start their business up, and as they're going in their first year, second year, there's usually two things. The first one is keeping track of their books. It's sometimes hard just to really get down to the details of that. But the second one is they forget about the importance of marketing. They're busy baking the cake, and they just don't put enough effort into the whole marketing program. So we see that as one of the problems.
Yes, and have you ever heard the term, is running your business getting in the way of running your business?
Yeah, that's it.
Those are two key components, right, that you
Exactly.
kind of sometimes can put to the side, pretty easy to do. Let's talk a little bit about the second one that you mentioned, of course, is marketing. What are some things that WBIC does specifically to help entrepreneurs in that area?
Well, generally it's the classes. People can come in for individual counseling, but we do have a lot of different classes. Some of them are as comprehensive as starting your first year marketing plan. Designing a plan is important. And then we take other elements of it, designing your web page, working with social media. That's the class that we have coming up, so that you can really drill into the different areas of your marketing plan.
And when we're talking about a marketing plan, and I love that we forget sometimes it's important to plan. You need to plan a little bit about what you're going to do for marketing. Let's talk a little bit about the components of that and target market in specifics. So how important is it to identify your target market? Maybe a question for Spencer.
I think it's more important than it's ever been before. And in fact, I'll use this as a verb, if I may, it's actually safer to niche than it was before. Because
Okay.
we don't need to broadcast to the world anymore. We just need to find out those that have the problems that we're trying to fix and speak specifically to them. So they hear us and they go, that's exactly what I'm looking for.
It's interesting to say it that way. It's okay to niche now, right?
Yes. Yes.
Maybe previously not before. So going back to the social media platform, sometimes it's hard for folks to know what to do, what not to do. Is all social media important, or are some better than others? And is it business specific?
I feel like a lot of people have a certain association with social media and they go, well, I don't really want that because it's a lot of noise. But what I'd ask people to do is consider where those conversations are already happening. So whether it's a platform or whether it's a certain area where it's geographic based or demographic based, and start engaging in conversations there and seeing how you can best help, because people are voicing their concerns. They're talking about their problems in the open now. So if we can simply find ways to help them, that's the best way to start engaging.
Okay. And do you think it matters what kind of business you are?
It certainly does. Yeah, it certainly does. So whether you're a product or service-based business is probably not as important as who the audience is that you're trying to serve and what it is that they're saying they need.
Okay.
So really listening, actively listening on social media, see what people are talking about, and then only engaging as at that point.
Really interesting how it's changed over the years, really, goodness. Let's cover the class that's coming up on April 19th. So what kinds of things are we going to be learning in this class?
I think this is probably the fifth or sixth time that we've done this. So the social media platforms themselves have emerged more, but the systems and the strategies are timeless, in my opinion. Have you thought the same thing, Andrea?
Yes, we're very happy to have Spencer instruct this class. He's got a lot of practical things that they can do, time-saving things. When you talk about social media, as he said, the first thing we talk about is knowing your market, where they are, where they're talking, and then the next is how to utilize all of those, how to design a plan again. He talks about a whole calendar that you can do. He talks about, I love the way you talk about this, the little sound bites that you take from each platform and reutilize it for maximum purposes.
Well, this is just one offering that WBIC has, and obviously you can stand to learn a whole lot in this class, especially with social media in regards to that. So thank you so much for sharing a few key components. This is Spencer Smith with SpencerXSmith.com and Andrea Hughes with WBIC. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Trisha.
We've got more Talk of the Town coming up after the break, so please stick around. Welcome back to Talk of the Town. We are talking a little bit about construction and remodeling today, an exciting and fun topic. And I am joined now by co-owner of Anthony Construction, Alicia Navarrete, and I am so glad to have you.
Well, thank you for having us.
I love your name. It's so
thank
beautiful. But I'm excited to chat about this. For one, we love supporting local businesses, and I want to hear a little bit about your story. So how long has Anthony Construction been around?
Well, Anthony Construction was actually started by my husband on his own in Los Angeles in 2000. And then he moved to Madison in 2005, which is when we met, and we decided that we were going to build it here in Madison.
Wonderful.
So he brought all his experience and knowledge from California to Madison, and it's been great. We've been able to incorporate our passion to help others beautify their homes and their businesses here in the Madison area.
That's really interesting that it came from LA, because a lot of the trends and things in all areas, but in home remodel too, kind of start on the coasts, right?
Absolutely.
And move into the Midwest.
Yeah.
So we're way ahead of it
Yeah.
now with Anthony Construction.
Absolutely.
I love it. Let's talk a little bit about the different jobs that you guys do. Now, when we're talking about a remodel, do you really handle all facets of whether it's residential or commercial, or what's your
So our strength, our specialty would be, we're really into hotel remodels right now. Exterior, interior, all facets of remodeling, and absolutely we can handle all different aspects of a remodel job. We've been very fortunate to work with some great plumbers and electricians and architects in the area, so we've created a great bond with them and a great working relationship, so we can definitely cover all facets of a remodel job, big, small, commercial, residential, we can handle it.
I'll say working on a hotel has to be a big job.
Yes,
so
it is, but that is Ray's specialty, and he
Yeah.
loves it, and he does great with it. So, yeah, he's very excited to have had that opportunity to open up
kidding.
Anthony Construction to hotel remodeling.
yeah, so like a kitchen would be no big deal after
Yeah,
that.
absolutely, absolutely.
That's great. Now let's talk a little bit about some of the things that really set you guys apart from some other remodeling companies in the community.
We do, we shop all of our supplies locally. We believe in supporting local businesses for one. Two, we warranty all of our work. So to us, it's very important to have, a local provider, a vendor close by, so that we can, either change colors, because customers change their mind very often. We work closely with our customers, helping with color schemes. Ray is hands-on on every single project. You'll see him from start to finish. So he's, pretty proud of his work, and I think that kind of sets us apart, that he, is always there from the start to the end of each project.
Absolutely. Well, and that's a really nice thing to mention, because a lot of times when you hire somebody, you kind of hire the person and then maybe don't see them again.
Exactly.
And it's really nice to know that he keeps his hand in the business all the way through. And you two obviously work together in some way.
We
So
do.
what are kind of your roles then?
Yeah. So obviously Ray's more hands-on, front line. He does all the bidding, and he's on every job site. He loves the painting part of the stain, the finish. That's what he started, and so he always makes sure that he's the one that finishes each project. I'm more of ordering material, helping with the bidding and measuring, working with customers to pick colors that are current, trending at the time, invoicing contractors, employees, things like that.
Wow, well, good
Yeah.
for you. Behind every great man is a great woman,
That's
right?
right.
That's what they say. Tell folks at home where Anthony Construction is located.
Anthony Construction's located at 3557 East Washington Avenue. We're next to Pedro's Mexican Restaurant on East Washington. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Again, our phone numbers, you can call it at any time, and we'll set up a time to come out and give you a free estimate, 608-219-3541, or 608-669-6483.
Very good. Nice to have some Saturday hours. That's
Yes,
helpful for folks
yes.
who are working throughout the week. And we got just a few seconds left, but let's talk a little bit about where the supplies are coming from. Are they
Absolutely.
purchased locally
They're
here?
purchased locally. Sherwin-Williams, Benjamin Moore, Hallman Lindsay, Badger Supply. So it's depending on the project, but we definitely keep it in town.
I love
Absolutely.
that. Well, that's really great.
Absolutely.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you so much for
You're very
sharing
welcome.
your story with us.
Absolutely.
Alicia Navarrete with Anthony Construction. It's
Thank
been
you.
a pleasure.
Same here. Thank you.
We've got more Talk of the Town coming up after the break, so please stay with us. Welcome back to Talk of the Town. I'm very excited to learn a little bit more about this topic. So you may have heard of or seen the Willmar Neighborhood Center, and we're going to learn a little bit more about it today. And joining us to do just that is Beatrice Hadidian, who is the Development and Program Director. And I am just pleased to have you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So what an exciting topic. I'm excited to share with viewers at home. Give us kind of an overview about the Willmar Neighborhood Center.
Sure. So the Willmar Neighborhood Center, the Willmar stands for Williamson Marquette. We're a neighborhood on the east side of Madison's Isthmus. So we serve the East Isthmus, and we have been doing that for about 50 years. So we have everything in our facility provides services and connections to the community. Wow. So we have classes for all ages and interests. We have a food pantry. We have free meal programs. We have after school and summer camp, meeting space, event space that's affordable. So pretty much you name it.
You do a lot.
We try to.
I didn't realize there was so much under your plate, or on your plate rather. That's a lot of things that you're doing. So you must be a pretty effective organization to cover all of these things and are really important to the East Side community. Talk a little bit about why you're such an important staple over there.
Sure. Well, for the last 50 years, the neighborhood has changed in quite a few ways. And back in the 60s and 70s, it was really important that we were providing a lot of free services. As the neighborhood has shifted and changed, we've really helped to support the neighborhood's values and continue to serve folks, and then also provide people the meaningful opportunities that they need and want to serve others in their own backyard. So that kind of manifests in a variety of different ways, but it gives us a chance to do a lot of different things every day.
And let's expand a little bit on the community classes. So talk to us about the classes you offer.
Sure. So we have all sorts of fitness and well-being classes and workshops. Everything from yoga for seniors, dance class for little kids. We have a lot of family craft workshops that we do. And then my favorite is that there's lots of fun dance classes for adults. So it's nice to just walk out of the office and go about 10 feet and get to have a really nice, awesome, sweaty session for a really affordable price.
Yes.
So.
It's good to get up and move during the day, right?
Yeah.
And get back to work.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about La Fête de Marquette. So obviously a really fun East Side festivity. Now what can we expect there and how are you involved?
Yeah, so the Willmar Neighborhood Center has been producing the La Fête de Marquette for about 12 years now. And what we do is 4 days of music, fun, activities, food, good drink, local arts and crafts, and basically all the proceeds that we raise there go back into funding services at the neighborhood center. So it's a really great way for people to connect with each other in the summer. We have music from all over the globe, all sorts of different tastes, and then we know that all the proceeds are being directly funded right back into our own backyard.
You know, I think that's something that possibly folks didn't know about La Fête de Marquette is that the proceeds were where they were going,
Yeah.
and what a great organization they're helping that's doing a lot of things in the community. So that's really special. Let's talk a little bit for folks at home. If you want to get involved, family, friends, co-workers, what should they do?
Well, check out our website. Click the volunteer tab because we'd love to hear from people. And then also I would suggest following us on Facebook and Instagram because that's not only where we share a lot of our classes information and how people can get involved, but it's also a really fun way for people to sign up for promotions. So for example, winning some free event t-shirts or even a beverage pass for the weekend because we are involved in La Fête de Marquette, but we also produce Atwood Fest and the Willie Street Fair. So
Wow.
There's always stuff to do in the summer.
You guys are busy.
We try to be.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, don't forget, Mother's Day is coming up right
Yes.
around the corner. You guys have a plant sale coming up for Mother's Day?
Yes, Don Becker sponsors our plant sale, has been doing it for 20 years. I should know that. But yeah, it's right around Mother's Day. It's the Friday and Saturday before. We get these gorgeous blooms, gorgeous herbs, garden starts, hanging baskets, everything for someone that's special in your life.
Yeah.
And they're all pretty nicely discounted so that we can offer them to as many people as possible. And then also those programs all benefit our after-school program and also Partners in Foster Care, which is a great local organization supporting foster care families.
How fun. So you get a gift for mom and also
Yeah.
can support a really nice organization. That's great. Well, thank you
Yeah.
for sharing that with us. This has been fun. This is Beatrice Hadidian, the Development Program Director for the Willmar Neighborhood Center.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing that. We've got a whole bunch more Talk of the Town coming up for you after the break, so please stay with us. Welcome back to Talk of the Town. If you are a fan of jazz, you're going to want to listen up because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the annual Capital City Jazz Fest, and believe it or not, it's the 29th year. And here to share a little bit more about this year's event is Linda Schmitz, the president of the Madison Jazz Society. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
We're very excited to chat with you about this. What an absolutely fabulous event. Now, there's going to be 4 bands performing.
4 bands, yes.
Talk to
over
us
the 3
about
days
that.
of the fest. The bands are coming from all over the country. In fact, a couple of the artists are coming from Canada, and 2 live most of the year in Italy. So it's sort of an international festival. But the 4 bands are the Bria Skonberg Quintet, Bob Schultz's Frisco Jazz Band, the Vache Coots Trick Trio, a small group, and then the couple from Italy are Stephanie Trick and Paolo Alderighi, wonderful, wonderful pianists.
Oh, how wonderful. That I would look forward to that greatly. Sounds like a good lineup.
We're very pleased with the lineup, yes.
Let's talk about some of the highlights of the performers.
Well, the performers, for us, the thing that we're really getting excited about is that we've encouraged them to jam. Well, we do every year. But some of these are smaller groups, so we aren't sure who's going to be on the stage when, other than we've scheduled a band to play, but they may bring in somebody else to play with them. And jamming is a big part of jazz, and we think that will be very exciting. In addition, Bria Skonberg is coming in early, and starting Wednesday the 26th, she will be doing workshops for students in Madison area schools on the 26th and 27th, sharing some of her love of and knowledge of jazz. So we think it's going to be a great weekend.
That's really special because as things have progressed in schools, sometimes what's being cut or being forgotten a little bit is the music. So it's
yes, definitely.
It's nice.
In addition to this, having these workshops, our society every year gives grants to schools all over the state of Wisconsin to enhance their jazz education programs.
Wow.
So this is sort of a carry-on of that too. So we're really pleased that we can do that. And some of the funds that we take in at the fest will go to that school grant fund so we can continue that program every year.
That's really special. I'm very pleased to hear that. That's nice. So obviously this festival is exciting because of the music and because of a wonderful lineup. But for folks who are looking to come, talk to us a little bit about what else they can get. Is it a food and drink festival as well?
There's food and drink for sale. Also, we have a record dealer who comes in and literally fills up a room with CDs. I always say records, but now they're CDs.
CDs, yeah.
And CDs and books, and then we have a jazz mall where that's our project. And at that, anything they buy will go to the school grant fund I just talked about. Wow. So there's food and drink, and on Sunday we will also have a jazz worship celebration at the fest venue.
Oh, how nice. A lot to look forward to. And you might see some records. No, CDs. You can buy some CDs. Just teasing you. Okay, so this is a big organization a big event rather, to organize. How does this all get done? Who oversees all of this?
All of the work of the society is done by volunteers, all
Okay.
volunteers. So we have our volunteer board of directors. I'm the president, but then we have another committee that plans the fest, and we've been meeting for months. And starting Thursday, we'll be over at the hotel setting up and keeping things going. And everybody has their job, and we've done it for a number of years now, so I think we pretty much know what we're doing, unless there's some last-minute glitch, which always happens.
There always is, but you know how to handle it flawlessly, I'm sure,
think
with
we
your
do.
experience. Yeah, you make it through. Before we go, I want to share about some of the other programs or events that your organization sponsors or puts on.
Okay. We do concerts just on Sunday afternoons at the Breakwater in Monona. We haven't set the dates yet because we're getting the Packer schedule organized for the fall. But another thing that we will do that will be involving young people will be, we do what we call a Jazz Stars of the Future concert.
Okay.
That'll happen after the 1st of 2018. And we invite school jazz bands to come and perform for our audience, so they're not always playing for their parents and their peers and that sort of thing. And so we do that, and then as I mentioned, our school grant fund that is a year-round project.
So you guys stay pretty busy, sounds
We
like,
do.
throughout the year. Well, it's a wonderful organization. I'm very pleased to get to share the 29th annual Capital City Jazz Fest coming up just this weekend. What a fun thing. Thanks for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
This is Linda Schmitz, the president of the Madison Jazz Society. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks to all of our guests for joining us today. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time on Talk of the Town.